Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. This is your English class and I am your teacher Rabia Waheed. Today, unit number 3, written in March, and question number 1, answer the following questions. Students, as you know that I have already dictated all the questions, all the answers of the questions, but as the book of mine was of old edition and your book is of new edition, there were two questions that were different from mine. And now that question number 2 in your book, in the exercise written in March, that question is quote the lines of the poem, quoting the striking simile and explain. Now, all of you know that the book, that these lines in your poem on page number 27, these are the exact lines that I will quote. The lines containing the striking simile are following. Now these lines are, you will write in the inverted commas, inside the inverted commas, like an army defeated, like an army defeated, the snow has retreated. These are the two lines in which the striking simile has been used by the poet. In these two lines, the snow has been compared to the army. Just like an army who has defeated and who is moving back from the battlefield, the snow has also started melting and it's moving back from the mountains, from the earth, from the surface of the land. So this is the answer of your question number 2. Now question number 6, that is also different in your book, in the exercise of written in March, and that question is, what is meant by the green field sleeps? This is your question number 6. What is meant by green field sleeps? I have told you in detail this term in my previous lecture that you have definitely written on your neat copies, but again I am dictating you. Green fields, this is the answer. You will write it on your neat copies. You will complete your question answers on your neat copy. And the two questions that are different, that are not in your book and I have dictated, you will also write those questions in your neat copies, as you are a board class and you may be asked any question related to your unit. So write those questions too and complete these questions now. Green field sleeps means that there is pleasant sunshine. Green fields means that there is pleasant sunshine and the fields seem to bask in the sunshine. Bask means to take the sun bath, to expose one's body in the sunshine, to expose one's body to the sunshine. So it means that field seems to bask in the sunshine. Now your question answers are complete, and next question. Next and last question of this of the exercise of unit number 3, and that is figures of speech. Dear students, you have to keep in your mind here that figures of speech, we are going to read about figures of speech. Parts of speech is something different and figures of speech is something different. Parts of speech you start reading from your 2 or 3 grade, that is noun, pronoun, verb, adjective, conjunction, interjection, preposition. These are the parts of speech. But now you are going to read about figures of speech. Figures of speech are, you may say, these are the literary parts of the speech. These are the parts that a writer uses to make his piece of writing more meaningful, impactful, and you may say effective and impressive. I am again repeating, figures of speech are those literary terms, are those literary pieces of the speech that a writer uses in his piece of writing or in her piece of writing to make that piece of writing more impactful, more meaningful, interesting and impressive. Okay, now figures of speech that you are going to read in this poem, that are simile and metaphor. There are many parts of figures of speech, those are you may say simile and metaphor you will read, then alliteration, then there is personification. These are also the and much more are there figures of speech, but you have to read recently simile and metaphor. Now, what is simile? Simile is a comparison. Simile is a comparison between two things. Simile is a comparison between two things, and those two things are compared on the base of which quality? The common quality in both of them. Simile is a comparison between two things. And it is a comparison between two things on the base of common quality in both of them. Means you are comparing two things. And why are you comparing? Because there is something common in both the things. Simile is a direct comparison. I'll make you understand what is meaning by this definition. I will simplify this definition. It's a direct comparison. Means you can easily find out the area of similarity between the two things that we are comparing. It's a direct comparison. Means the area of comparison is very much clear. You don't have to find out it. You don't have to go, you may say, go in depth to find out the area of similarity. Now, in simile, the third point, the first one is direct comparison between two things, And why those two things are compared? Because of some common quality in both of them. And the third one point is you use the word like and as. These two words are used in simile, like and as. Now I give the examples and you will be able to understand all this very easily. I say her cheeks are as red as rose. Now her cheeks are as red as rose. In this sentence I have compared two things. The first one is cheeks and the second thing is red rose, or you may say rose. I have compared two things in this sentence. The first one is cheeks and the second one is rose. Now her cheeks are as red as rose. The common quality in both these two things, cheeks and rose, the common quality is the redness. This is the common quality. You have often observed the cheeks of babies, of girls, or a human being red. Red is the common quality in the rose flower. As rose flower is also of red color, of many colors, it is also of red color. So her cheeks are as red as rose. Two things are compared, cheeks and rose, and common quality is this, redness. And here we have used the word as. So this is a simile. Her cheeks are as red as rose. Another example, she is cunning like a fox. Again in the sentence, I have used simile. Two things are compared. The first is the she, means it's representing a girl, a female, and the fox. Two things are compared. A girl, a female is being compared to fox, and the area of similarity, or you may say in easy words, the common quality in both these things, that is the cunningness. She is cunning like fox, and this is a common quality in a fox and in that lady. You know, fox is famous for its cunningness. So she is cunning like fox. Here the word like, it is used, so it is a simile. As all of you know, I have already told you that in a simile we use the word like or as. So she is cunning like fox. Another example, her hair was like, her long hair was like flowing golden river. Now her hair, I may write here, it's possible you may not see it written there. Her long hair was like flowing golden river. Okay, now in this sentence two things have been compared. Number one, long hair, and second one, flowing golden river. Now her golden hair was like flowing golden river. It means these are the two things, long hair and the flowing golden river. Now here, the common quality, the area of similarity between these two things, between hair and the river, golden river. the area of similarity, the common quality is length, number one, and number two, length, and number two, golden color. Golden color. Her hair may be of golden color. That's why the writer has used a simile. Her long river is long, so her hair was long. This is first area of similarity. And then her long hair was like flowing golden river. Golden river means, it means the color of her hair was golden. So these two are the common qualities in the hair of that girl and in the river. And it is a simile. How do you come to know about this? Because of this word. The word like or as. These show that here in this sentence two things are being compared. So this is a simile. Now I think your concept has been clear. Now the next figure of speech, that is metaphor. What is metaphor? Very attentively listen to the difference between metaphor and simile. There is a, you may say, a slight difference between these two things. What is metaphor? Metaphor is also a comparison. Very strange. If it is also a comparison, then what is the difference between a simile and metaphor? Now come to it. Metaphor is also a comparison between two things, just like a simile. Metaphor is also a comparison between two things, but this comparison is not direct comparison. It is indirect comparison, or you may use the word, it is called implied. It is an implied comparison between two things. Implied means not clear. Implied means hidden. In a simile, the comparison is clear. Comparison is direct. Comparison is apparent. Comparison is open. But in metaphor, comparison between two things is implied. Means it is hidden. It is indirect. The reader has to find out the similarity between the two things that are compared in a metaphor. That comparison is not clear. A reader has to go in between the lines. He has to sort out. He has to find out that comparison. Now, in it, metaphor, no word like, as and like is used. Okay? No word like or as. They are not used. In metaphor, the words like and as, they are not used. And the third point, in a metaphor, A is declared B. This point I will simplify. In metaphor, A is declared B. Means, student, please listen to this very carefully. A is declared B. It means A is not compared to B. A is not, you may say, defined as like B, resembling to B. Rather, A is declared B. Means, A is here standing for something. Means something is declared to be the other thing. You will understand this point from the example that I write here. The example is, I have already given you the example in the simile that her cheeks are red as rose. Now here I will write her cheeks are red rose. Now students, very carefully understand this point. I am saying her cheeks are red red rose. For example, cheeks are A and red rose is B. I have declared A to be B. I am not saying A is like B. I am saying A is B. For example, her cheeks are red rose. I am not saying her cheeks are like red rose. Or I am not saying her cheeks are as red as rose. I am not saying this. I am saying her cheeks are red rose. Means I am declaring her cheeks to be the red roses. Now, again, the point, I am declaring her cheeks to be the red roses. I have not used any word like or as. But if you read this sentence very carefully, you will find that I am, you may say, comparing the cheeks and red roses. In the, you may say, the inner meaning, the hidden meaning of this line is, it doesn't mean that her cheeks are roses, means there are red roses on her cheeks. No, it doesn't mean. Means physically there are roses, the roses flower on her cheeks. No, it does not mean it. It means that her cheeks are red roses, means her cheeks have the redness like the red roses. But I am not using the simile. I am not saying her cheeks are red as roses. I am declaring her cheeks to be the roses. And in this declaration, the two things are compared, or one thing that is declared to be the other. They are cheeks and the red rose. And the area of similarity, because of which I am the quality, because of which I am declaring the cheeks to be the rose, that is the redness. Again I am repeating, metaphor is a comparison between two things, but this comparison is a hidden comparison. This comparison is an implied comparison. This comparison is not a clear comparison. This comparison is an indirect comparison. When you read a sentence for the first time, you don't understand the meaning of that sentence. You don't understand the metaphor in that sentence. When you think about it, when you ponder over that sentence, then you come to know that here metaphor is being used and here two things are compared without using the word like or as. Now here cheeks and rose, these are two things, and redness is the common quality of these two things. Now another example, he was lying in the battlefield. He was lying in the battlefield. Now he, a male, a boy or a man, is declared to be a lion. A is declared to be B, and he was a lion in the battlefield. All of you know, if apparently I think about it or I take the meaning of it, he was a lion. Lion, you know, is a beast, is a wild beast. It means he was a wild beast? No. I have to think deeply. You have to think deeply, then you will be able to get the point. He was a lion. You know, lion is famous for its bravery, for its fearless nature. Okay? Now, here he is declared to be a lion. It means he is declared to be a lion on the base of bravery, on the base of a quality that is bravery, that is fearlessness. So, he was a lion in the battlefield means he was behaving, he was fighting like a lion in the battlefield. But this is a metaphor. Why? Because here he is declared to be a lion. Here we don't have used a word like or as. If it would be a simile, we would say that he was fighting like a lion in the battlefield. That was very simple to understand because simile is very apparent, very direct and very clear. Metaphor is difficult to understand because it is not apparent or clear or direct comparison. It is a hidden comparison and we have to think about it. We have to go deeply in the sentences. He was a lion in the battlefield. So this is a metaphor. Again I say she, or you may say that lady is a fox, or you may say that lady behaved. No, if we behave, then it will be a simile. Behaved as a fox. That lady proved to be a fox. Now it is a metaphor. Here lady is declared to be a fox. And why she is declared to be a fox? Because she was cunning. So here the quality of cunningness of a fox is found in that lady too. So that lady is declared to be a fox. That lady proved to be a fox. It is a metaphor. Why? Because no word like or as has been used in it. So this is the metaphor. So dear students, this was the last question of your unit number 3, written in March, and this was from the grammar, figures of speech, simile and metaphor. You will write the definition of simile and metaphor and its examples on your neat copies, and you will write 2 examples of simile and 2 examples of metaphor from your knowledge by your own side in your neat copies. So till my next lecture, Allah Hafiz.